Hi, May. Hi, Walter. Welcome to the next chapter of the Pupkatiliver Gang stories. Now, this one is a little different than all the others because it's got a dark theme filled with tension, with stress, with anxiety. Scary stuff. It's called The Search for Manny and Bear. Search for Manny and Bear. So, early one morning, the puppies were awakened by crying, groaning, sobbing, loud, very loud crying. And they thought maybe there's a chance that it once again was Queen Glacier. Queen Glacier, not Queen Crasher, but Queen Glacier of the Ice-Winged Dragons. They thought maybe it was the same as it was her again. But she's pretty big, like mountain size, right? And they were in the house. And even though they're big, they're 10 feet tall, it was not a ice-winged dragon. So when they get to the kitchen, they see who was crying. It was Max the cat. And Max the cat, since he doesn't speak English, and the puppies don't speak cat language, they know a few more meows, but that's about it. They couldn't figure out what he was crying about. And then they're looking around, he's crying, he's looking, and real tears coming out, and they realize that he's lonely. Max is lonely, he's sitting there alone, and there's nobody around him, meaning there's no Manny and there's no Bear. Manny and Bear are missing. They're gone. And the puppies say, wait a minute, this is strange. They start looking high and low for Manny and Bear, but they're nowhere to be found, not even a whisper, not a hint. They became more and more frantic about it. They searched all over the house. They go into the neighborhood. They go all throughout Boston, the whole city of Boston. And Two-Ton Tony Ishkabibble Jones goes to New Hampshire. They go to New Hampshire to look in the house and the woods and everything else, and nothing. Manny and Bear vanished. They vanished into thin air. So they're beside themselves with fear and anxiety. The puppies, they don't know what to do. They turn, of course, to the sorceress, right? And May says to the sorceress, we need help finding Manny and Bear. Please get Tintin here right away. Now remember, sorceress, the last time we did this, you brought us a dog, right? Rin Tin Tin, not Tintin. Eventually Tintin shows up, but first it's Rin Tin Tin who shows up, a dog. And we don't need another dog here, right? We're looking for a dog, and if Tintin actually ever makes it here, he's got a dog, Brosy, Showy, Snowy, right, right. So let's just focus on Tintin, okay? And Sorceress becomes a little nervous, He's a little scared about this whole thing because last time didn't work out so well. And she goes, okay, I'll do my best. If I remember, I think I can remember the spell. And here we go. Abracadabra, hocus pocus. Please bring Tintin here and don't smoke us. And May looks at Walter, and they look at each other, and they go, don't smoke us. Well, anyway, all of a sudden, there's an explosion. Out of the smoke and the dust walks, no, not Tintin. Walks Thompson and Thompson, not Tintin. Thompson and Thompson are here. May looks at the sorceress and she goes, what is going on with you? We wanted Tintin, not Thompson and Thompson. We wanted the world's best detective, not the worst ones in the whole world. And Sorcerer says, well, look, I'm sorry, it was a TT, it threw everything off. I'll keep trying, keep trying. And we'll see what happens. And meanwhile, Thompson and Thompson think, well, they're here on the case and they're going to be able to solve it pretty quickly because they are they think they're great detectives. And they start snooping around outside. And the next thing you know, they hear loud barking and loud growling. And all the puppies run around the corner. And the first thing they see is a dog hybrid. A dog, in fact, two dogs, hybrid. And it was snarling and barking. Well, this one doesn't look like it's snarling and barking, but it was snarling and barking and baring its teeth. And right behind it was a cat dragon hybrid. A cat dragon hybrid. And both of them are very angry. They're snarling and they're scary, very, very scary. And Thompson goes, run, let's get out of here. The Thompsons run away, but they will come back later. And not a moment later, there's another explosion. And now, walking through the smoke, who arrives? The real Tintin with his dog Blowy. Snowball. No, Snowy, right? The real Tintin is here. Now, while May are giving dog treats to the dog monster, to the dog dragon hybrid monster, and Tuna to the cat hybrid monster, to calm them down, they fill Tintin on what happened. They tell him Bear and Manny are missing. Bear and Manny are missing. They tell him I came to the kitchen. Max crying, all this. And Tintin says, there's something very, very strange going on here. The only time I've ever seen monsters like this is from May's imagination. And she has a wonderful imagination. Those drawings with all the different colors and the names, it's really terrific. But these monsters are different. They are very, very real. In fact, right now, as long as you're just feeding them, they're okay, they've calmed down. But if not, we don't know what's going to happen. So Tintin says this whole thing is very strange. In the meantime, the monsters begin to smell the grease dripping from Greasy Johnson, right? So the monsters, the dog and the cat hybrid dragon monsters, are smelling the grease dripping from Greasy Johnson, and they start licking Greasy's legs and his arms and his face. And Greasy then becomes surrounded by these monsters. He's surrounded by the monsters, but also the monsters, of course, like everybody else, keep slipping on the grease. So they fall down, they get up, they lick a little bit, and they fall down, they get up, they lick a little bit more. That's pretty much going on throughout the whole scene. They all begin to walk through the neighborhood looking for Manny and Bear. No, not Manny and Bear, Manny and Bear. They're looking for the Manny and Bear, and in the distance, Tintin sees what looks like a big cardboard box. A big cardboard box with some writing on the side. And he says, that box seems out of place. Let's take a look at it. And as they approach the box, they see a word printed on the side in very, very large letters. And it says, transmognifier. Wait a minute. Transmogrifier. Not an easy word. Transmogrifier. And at the same time, both May and Walter say, wait a minute. The only person who could have created a transmogrifier is Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there, but here we go. The computer shut down for a second. Anyway, back to the story. The only person who could have created a transmogrifier is Calvin of Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin created the transmogrifier, and sure enough, they turn the corner, and there they are, looking a lot different than this picture. This is a stock picture. This is the real picture. So Calvin and Hobbes are looking like very, very mischievous, like they're in the middle of a big, a big trick. And Maymay says, "So it was you, Calvin, who kidnapped Bear and Manny, and you turned them into these monsters, and into these monsters." Wrong, that's the Thompsons. Here's the monster. Here's one monster, and here is, you turn them into these monsters. You'll never get away with this. And Calvin says, "Oh no, stand back." And he pulls out a gun, a little gun, like a toy gun, like he's 6 years old, a toy gun, right? With the word on the gun, transmogrifier. It's a transmogrifier gun. Remember, they have a box and a transmogrifier gun with on the side, or I'll blast you with this transmogrifier gun. Now, the transmogrifier, for those who are uninitiated into the world of Calvin and Hobbes, enables Calvin to essentially turn anything he wants into anything he wants and do anything he wants. It's the magic in the transmogrifier gun and box that allows him to just control the world, and his imagination can run wild. So he steps back. So he's got the gun. He says, "Stand back, or you'll blast you with this transmogrifier gun." The puppies step back, but Calvin aims the gun at Greasy, and he fires. Greasy turns into a five-headed monster from the planet Zog, right? A Zog monster. And the next thing you know, before you know it, there's a loud roar of an engine. And guess who appears? Spaceman Spiff. Not to the rescue. Normally, Spaceman Spiff comes to the rescue, but not this time. He's not rescuing anybody. He's just crashing on the scene. So he crashes the spaceship on the scene, and now you've got the two dog and cat monsters. You've got the monsters, right? Here they are. You've got the monsters. You got Greasy as a five-headed Zog monster from the planet Zog. You've got Spaceman Spiff's spaceship that crash landed. The two Thompsons came back. Here they are. They came back, right? Here they are, and they're slipping on the grease. And last but not least, you got Hobbes. Hobbes smells the tuna that Maymay has been feeding the cat monster. Hobbes likes tuna, and so you got Hobbes, who starts fighting with the hybrid cat dragon monster, over the tuna. So it's a huge mess, a tremendous, tremendous mess, until Tintin shouts, "Stop! I've solved the mystery. Here are the keys to the problem." And he opens a door. There's a door there. Who knows where they are? There's a door. He opens the door, and sitting behind the door are Calvin's mother and Calvin's father. Calvin's mother and Calvin's father. And Tintin says, I believe, he's talking to the parents, you're looking for your son. He's right here. And Calvin and Calvin says, I don't want to take a bath. I hate baths. I hate taking baths. And it turns out that the whole thing is Calvin's imagination. He's got the transmogrifier gun. Calvin's imagination trying to avoid taking a bath that his parents want him to take. And finally, they grab him. Oh no. Oh, they grab him, and the last thing, stick with me here, stick with me. Oh no, this is terrible. Stick with me, the ending is good. The ending is good. We're almost near the ending. And all right, well, I can't find it, but they start dragging Calvin off to take a bath. And they start taking Calvin, dragging him off to take a bath, and he's screaming and crying. And in the very end, he takes the transmogrifier gun, which he still has, and he points it at Maymay and Walter, and he says, I'll get you for this. I'll get you back for this. We're not finished with you yet. And Walter looks at Calvin, and he says, not so fast, big boy. Give us back Bear and Manny. And just as Calvin is being dragged into the bathroom, he fires the transmogrifier gun, and boom, Bear and Manny come back right there. The monsters disappear. The Greasy becomes Greasy again, and the Thompsons leave, and Tintin is still there, and everything is what is it? Everybody lives happily ever after. Whoa. And that is the case, or the story, or the search for Manny and Bear. We love you, Maymay. We love you, Walter.